Hey, what's up guys? So I have a quick question for you. Do you ever think about the technology behind a company's stock price? This question may seem kind of weird, but I ask it because I realize that the majority of the companies that I talk about in regards to their stock information are within the tech sector. I want to continue making videos like that, but I want to start focusing more on the actual technology behind the company, the backbone of the company, and how that technology can be a societal impact or some way, shape, or form, and how that impact on society can be compared to the moves that the actual stock price of that company makes. So in this video, I want to talk about two stocks that I feel like, even though they are small companies as far as their experience and their stock price, have some major big tech that can be totally influential and have some positive societal impact and could definitely be some long-term holds. So let's get started. So the first company we're going to talk about is obviously a favorite to the channel, and I think a good start off on this new trend of videos, and that's Metamaterials. So Metamaterials is a company that designs and manufactures functional materials that can perform special functions by utilizing light or some other source of energy. And these materials can be used in different sources of applications such as defogging, de-icing, and heads-up display in aerospace and automobiles. The medical sector with their non-invasive GlucoWise technology, which is basically a technology that allows people to measure their sugar level without actually puncturing their skin, some pretty cool stuff. And even in AR with their AR Fusion smart glasses. So with this company, and especially if you've been following channels like mine that have been talking about this company, we all know that there's obviously an elephant in the room. I say that because this company's potential has definitely been overshadowed and overlooked by the short-term news that has been making more headlines. With this preferred stock dividend and whether it's going to be a cash payout or a spin-off, and this short squeeze that could potentially make the price skyrocket for people that are really upset that they lost a lot of money in the first place. But in my personal opinion, and if you reference a bunch of videos I've made in the past, probably every Metamaterial video, I always say that I'm a long-term holder. And the big reason behind that is the technology that Metamaterial has to offer and is primarily responsible for. But one thing that makes me really confident about investing into this company for the long term, and something that I feel like will take off this company in the form of popularity and societal impact, and obviously stock price, and something that I also feel like occasionally gets overlooked, is the manufacturing. And this is where some of the science comes in and maybe will interest some of you guys, so just let me know. So another type of material that can manipulate light are lenses, and lenses are primarily made of glass. So based off the general shape of the lens, you're gonna have rays of light go through it. And each ray of light that goes through that lens is going to slow down because of the material of the lens and its shape. The rays in the middle are going to slow down dramatically more than the ones on the outside, because the ones on the top and the bottom or the outside aren't going through as much. But regardless, they're going to slow down. And when they come out of the other side, they're going to converge together in the center, and that's where you get the images that the lens creates, depending on what application you're using. But here's an issue. This is an issue that I've actually never addressed when I talked about Metamaterial, because I honestly never thought about it, but it has to do with the manufacturing and the price of manufacturing lenses, especially when it comes to glass. Now, depending on what application you're using, the image that you want on the output when all the lights converge may be different. And the only way you can change that output, for glass at least, is by changing the shape of that glass. So changing the manufacturing, and that isn't as easy as it sounds. So that manufacturing, all in all, will be more expensive. But imagine if instead you could create some type of material with a more simple shape, something like a square or a rectangle. And that rectangle could have certain materials inside of it that could do its own type of manipulation to the rays of light that go in and out of it, to where maybe they can converge the same way a glass lens would, or they can do something else, which again is very beneficial for whatever application that you want to use it on. That material, that more simplistic material, is what we call metamaterials, and those tend to be a lot cheaper to manufacture once actually producing it becomes mastered. And again, I obviously didn't think about this stuff in the beginning, otherwise I would have mentioned it in different videos. I actually watched this video from Duke University. It's a really straightforward and really cool breakdown of what metamaterials are, so make sure you guys check that out. So as I consider the technology behind metamaterial, and especially with the manufacturing aspect of it, once the manufacturing and utilization of metamaterials becomes more efficient, that's when I believe that the stock in the company of Metamaterial will shoot up, and this company will be able to make a major impact on society, which at this point is really significant, especially with this whole metaverse being a big thing. And my personal opinion is that Metamaterial is the science behind the metaverse. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. The second company is called Carnegie Clean Energy. Now, Carnegie Clean Energy is a technology company that has specific tech that can convert ocean wave energy to zero emission electricity. Now, the technology that they use is something called CWGYF, and CWGYF is basically this fully submerged buoy that sits right above the water. It actually has these little legs that keep it on the ground, but at the same time allow it to move with the current from the ocean. Now, that movement is normally in an orbital motion, and that orbital motion will drive the PTO, or the power takeoff system. And that power takeoff system will allow it to convert the ocean's waves and magnitudes resulting from that into electricity. So for those of you guys that don't know what a power takeoff system is, it's okay, I just learned about this the other day, I'm trying to get a grasp of it. But a power takeoff system is basically a type of system that can transmit power from one thing into the next. One major application that it's used is on trucks, specifically trucks with different things that may happen on the back of the truck. So for example, you may see a lot of dump trucks or any other type of truck that's transporting things from one place to the next, and the bed of it may need to extend up using some type of hydraulic system to dump things out. Well, that hydraulic system has to have power from somewhere, and typically that power will come from the actual engine of the vehicle, and that transporting of power from the engine to the actual bed that is powered by a hydraulic system is from a power takeoff system. So this CWGYF technology is using that same type of power takeoff system to transmit energy with probably the cables that you can see up into a facility that can store that electricity for whatever use it needs to happen for. Now, this CWGYF technology is used in multiple applications so far. For starters, it's used in conjunction with a solar farm to power a naval base in Western Australia. But recently, Carnegie announced something called More Power, which is a similar type of CWGYF technology that actually powers offshore vessels. Right now, it's primarily used on feeding barges, which is a type of agricultural thing, but ultimately it'll be able to be used on any type of offshore equipment that requires electricity. So first off, this company is obviously a renewable energy type company, and we all know, especially under the administration that we're in, this is a type of company that's going to be really important, and it will only get more important as more of the world becomes accepting of converting things into renewable energy to help keep our world clean. And I think this company has a really big potential to become a very big company because the source of their renewable energy makes up roughly 70% of our entire planet. So this has a lot of potential. At the same time, there are things that concern me as far as their finances. Their income statement, for example, their revenue actually dropped this year in comparison to the exact period of time from last year. But other things like their balance sheet show that they have more assets and less liabilities. So it's one of those things where they're obviously spending money to help progress the company. They've even said on their annual report, which you can look up, that the biggest thing they're trying to do is work on creating a technology that's efficient enough with a design that's good enough so they can ultimately commercialize it to other companies. So this is a company that I really think is also a long-term hold. And considering that it's a penny stock that you can only invest into through companies like Fidelity or E-Trade or TD Ameritrade, this is a company you could potentially easily have 100 stocks of, easily based off, obviously, your budget, and hold on to, set and forget, and see what happens. But I do believe in this company as well, and I feel like that CWGYF technology is something that could be really big in the future. Both of these companies have a lot of potential, and I feel like that's primarily based off the technology that could have potential positive impact in society. But Metamaterials has a lot of drama behind it, so make sure you watch this video so you can get more of an idea of why people are really starting to lose patience with this company. But I appreciate you guys watching, and until next time, take care.